there, lovely souls. Welcome back to the Living Simply channel, a place where we talk about everything spirituality, esotericism, and self-transformation. Today, we're looking at a symbol that I highly resonate with because it's one of the earliest symbols that I integrated into my life and in my spiritual journey through meditation, reading, drawing, and even tattooing it into my left wrist when I was in high school. And that's the Yin Yang symbol. The philosophy behind the Yin Yang is at least 3,500 years old. Can you imagine? And it officially appeared, if I can say so, around the 9th century before Christ in a spiritual book called the I Ching, or the Book of Changes, which is a famous book that has inspired so many Asian philosophies like Taoism and Confucianism. And it's truly a well of wonders, so I highly recommend you read it. There's lots of interesting snippets of wisdom and clarity that can really help you boost your spiritual journey. So, like I was saying, this symbol, the Yin Yang symbol, is also called the Taiji, which is a Chinese cosmological term that stands for the supreme ultimate state of absolute potential, where there is only oneness, there is no duality. And this is where the Yin Yang originates. This philosophy actually formed an entire mystery school of cosmology called the Yin Yang School, or the School of Naturalists, founded by the Chinese philosopher Zhu Yan. And the School of Naturalists focused on not only the endless teachings of the Taiji symbol, but also what is known as the 5 elements of nature. And these two fields were part of Zhu Yan's theory of the universe as a way to explain it and a way to better understand our place in it as human beings. To put it simply, the Yin Yang represents how this universe in which we live is governed by a cosmic duality, where two opposing yet complementary forces, principles or energies, however you want to call them, merge together forever in a state of balance. And these two seemingly opposing forces, the yin and the yang, they seem antagonistic, like some sort of paradox, but in reality, they are necessary to help this reality exist. We need both of them in order for this cosmos to run its course. And the yin-yang forces can be observed in nature, of course. This is the sun and the moon, the day and the night, the male and the female, dark and light, good and bad, hot and cold, up and down, life and death. There's so many examples that I couldn't even list them all if I tried to. And these forces are actually interconnected and interdependent. We cannot understand what life is, as an example, if we didn't have people dying around us. We would not know what a man is if we didn't also know that women exist. We would not be able to exist if there was only a day. Everything would burn actually and cease to exist. And the night here is necessary to allow rest, calm, and balance. So there's many examples like this, but basically it shows us that sometimes what we think is bad is part of the cosmic order that we live amongst. And we will never have a perfect world where evil doesn't exist, because that just would not be perfect. It would go south real quick and everything would crumble, because there is not a balance between the yin and the yang energy. A little side note here, a lot of anti-religious people, especially those that come from monotheistic Abrahamic cultures that didn't get a chance to truly integrate and understand the hidden meaning of their scriptures, ask the question, if God is all-powerful, why can't he just destroy evil and Satan? And the answer to that question is, why would God destroy something that he is? Also, he is also Satan. He is not an energy that can be divided. He is everything. So Satan is also a part of him, and he created evil because he is both good and evil. And it is truly amazing how accurate the biblical phrase God created man in his own image is, because just like God, what we call God, we also have shadow sides to us, or suppressed emotional traumas, demons, angels, all of these things that we think that are not our own. We deny these parts of ourselves but there are as much us as anything we like to show people or believe about ourselves. In Islam, it is even said that to every person there is a qarin, pronounced Kareen by the non-Arabic folk, but the Qarin literally means an eternal companion, and it's our shadow side, a spirit that whispers into our ears and gives us suggestions that can be good, both good and bad. But they're usually bad, of course, it depends on our good deeds and efforts. But it is said as an example that the Prophet Muhammad's Qarin became Muslim, and that does not mean that this Qarin, grew a beard and prayed 5 times a day and stopped drinking wine. No, it means that he surrendered his heart to God. As an energy, he started working with Muhammad instead of against him. It means that Muhammad was so enlightened, just like Buddha or Jesus or any other prophet or saint or guru, enlightened one in this planet, ascended masters as we call them. He became so enlightened that even his dark sides started becoming powers that worked in his favor instead of hindrance and something that would block him along his journey. And this is exactly the purpose of shadow work that you probably heard about in different spiritual faiths and beliefs around the world. It's realizing how even our demons can become amazing sources of strength, power, and wisdom if we just embrace them and integrate them. I really can speak about this for hours, so I'm gonna leave this for another video. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're interested about a video regarding shadow work and all the practices that can be done in order to make sense of who we are and make peace with those sides of us that we sometimes just push aside. But yeah, let's get back to the yin yang now. Like I said, this symbol is all about the balance that is needed to create the cosmos or the reality that we live in. The circle here represents the Tao, the source of all existence, what unifies all and encircles all. And the esoteric meaning of the circle is something that I have already talked about in my first episode of this podcast, so I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't yet. So that you get to know what the basic geometric shapes mean esoterically, spiritually. The circle, the triangles, and the squares, they all have meaning. So I'm not going to go in much detail here about the circle. I'm going to move on to the left side of this symbol, which is white, and it represents the yang, the masculine active force. This is the day, the positive charge, life, heaven, the penetration process. Then we have the right side, which is black, and this represents the yin, the feminine force, the night, the passive, death, earth, absorption, all of these attributes. And the way these two sides are wrapped around each other, as you can see, actually suggests that they're constantly transforming into one another. They give birth to one another in a way, just like the night turns into the day and the day slowly transforms into the night, or we are born into this life and then we slowly transform into a corpse in a way. This is what this spiral-like shape actually stands for. And in the yang side and the yin side, you can see that there is dots of the other color, and this represents the idea that both sides carry the seed of the other. In other words, if we want to give practical examples of this, each female has some masculine components and each man has the feminine components. This is something I have talked about in one of my previous videos called Healing the Inner Divine Masculine and the Inner Divine Feminine. So make sure to check that out. Another practical example is how each good situation that manifests in our lives has potential evil that can come out of it. And every bad situation, what we perceive as bad, of course, can have its share of good seeds or goodness overall. In a nutshell, the meaning of the yin-yang symbol through the centuries has influenced thousands of years of Chinese thought, astrology, divination, medicine, art, even politics, and it's a philosophy that today underlines so many Asian cultures and numerous fields like martial arts. And when we understand what the yin-yang philosophy and symbol is all about, It is truly a liberating experience because we start to understand how every negative situation that may arise in our life has the potential to become good. We start looking at it from, okay, where's the good in what's happening? There's a tornado. What can I learn from this experience? Someone died. What can I do to become a better person, to honor the life? We start looking for that seed of goodness within the negative experience. And we also become more at peace with suffering, pain, evil, and death in general when we understand that these forces, they're not here to hurt us. They are crucial, they are important, and we need them if we want this planet to exist. We don't like when people die, but we need death in order to have new people born. This is an order that cannot be stopped, that cannot be hindered. And the sooner we understand that this give and take of the universe is important for us to live a harmonious life, we just thrive so much faster. So anyways, this is it for today's video and podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be seeing you next time. Bye bye.